Yo, what's good? It's your boy Tony Slippaz, and I'm here chatting with Stacks. Tune in.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got Tony Slippaz.
So there was a moment when I almost died, and I ended up catching grip, and I ended up getting out the house, and it was a snowstorm, and I ended up falling in snow. For the second, you're laughing. You know what I mean? Like you just
Wait, so you aren't prepared for it to what? Go
yeah,
or
like it was a job, but I wasn't prepared for him to throw the match right away at where he did, and it just went sideways quick.
and
You
it,
know
and
what I
it
mean?
caught you on fire.
No, but I fell into gasoline. Now I'm getting myself covered in gasoline trying to get up, and the walls are starting to come towards me like this. I could close my eyes and it's tough because now you got the shit behind you. It's kind of fucking with me. Because, bro, it was a moment when you're like, I'm about to die right now. And then finally I just caught grip and I got up and I dove out the door into the snow. But they
So,
were he was laughing about it to the guy. He's like, yo, I did this job. His slippers fell. And that's how it got picked up on the whole wire. So I got my charge actually got picked up as Tony Slippaz in the original case.
does he pay you right away, or do you have to wait for the money?
Nah, I think that was like a wait job or some shit. I don't think we ever ended up getting paid because it just went all so sideways so quick.
So the building's right. The building's destroyed.
Gone.
The building's destroyed. You get away. Did you
And
get
the,
burned?
and the insurance scam went completely sideways. Yeah.
You didn't get burnt.
I know I didn't get burned. Thank
So
God.
how did it go sideways? He was supposed to get money for the building.
I guess when he called the phone, they started questioning him on recorded line type shit, asking the questions, and I guess he freaked out and hung up. And they said there was foul play, and then that opened up a whole ball, and then that's why I said it ended up getting picked up in a whole other case on a wiretap, just in a conversation.
How long did it take for them to come and get you?
2 years later was the first time I got picked up. And dude, that was a weird moment. I'm at a gas station rolling a blunt, and they roll up in a car, and I'm like, it's weed. You know what I mean? You're gonna bust my balls for this. Oh, dude, they put me in the front seat of the car. They told my man to walk home. All of a sudden they're driving, and I'm like, yo, the priest is the other way. All of a sudden I'm like, yo, I never really looked for a badge. I'm thinking I'm about to get whacked right now, to be honest with you. All of a sudden they take me like 20 minutes away, and I pull up into this big gray building with a blue star on it, man. I go into this room, and there's three guys in suits sitting there, and they got all this paperwork and shit. And I'm just like, I don't know nothing, man. Talk to my fucking lawyer. And at the end, when they let me go, they go, only one of you are gonna see your kid be born.
Wait, it's the feds,
Yeah.
and they tell you they don't arrest you right away.
They arrest me, but then they let me go. They threw me on the side of a highway, bro. This is not even a joke. I called up my baby mother. She was pregnant. She ended up losing the baby that night over this shit. Got so stressed out. It was a fucking crazy,
They
crazy
let you
moment.
go.
Because they didn't have no evidence. They just wanted me to rat. They even said you got. They even straight told me they were like, you got picked up on a wiretap, and we just want to verify this to verify this. And I was
Because they
like,
wanted to murder, right?
and I was like, I know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So they
Yeah.
had nothing to stick me, so they let me go. But what they do is they watch you when you're being followed because they want to see if you run back to tell anybody to see who you talk to. But
Yeah.
the crazy part was I really didn't know none of the people. I was through a third party guy who just happened to be the guy that was connected to the two people. That's how I know who ended up ratting. And when they let me go, like I said, we were both about to have our kids being born. And they were like, only one of you going to be a sick kid born. That's how cops are. They're cocksuckers. If you think they're going to be loyal to, they gave me the hint that I knew who ratted me out before it even happened.
Yeah.
So
So what happened?
that went on for like another 4 or 5 years before I eventually got arrested for it though. Because they waited for that whole other case to string out. I never said nothing about it, kept my fucking mouth shut. I was getting in trouble for other shit. So I'm just thinking like I'm good by the grace
So
of
this
God,
is
you
like
know what I
7
mean?
years later. This is like 7 years later.
2009 is when it happened. 2015 is when I got locked up. I ended up going to jail. 2016, 17, yeah. We did pre-trial for like a year.
Wow. So you're thinking you're good, right? Everything's good, but you're
You want to
not.
hear what's crazy? So so now that happened prior to my buddy ratting on me for the burglary, right? So now I do six. They gave me a 6.5. I fought so hard to try to get a year in jail. They wanted me on probation. Now I know why. They wanted me on probation because they never wanted to let go of me because that was a lingering thing. So I do 6-5. So I do 6 months in jail. I come home. I'm doing 5 years. I get into the fight and I break the guy's eye socket and he pressed charges. Right. So now I got a violation going on while I'm on parole. Now all of a sudden the feds come pick me up one day. So I all right. So I get a call. I'm about to go on tour with Danny Diablo. Right. I'm about to go overseas with him. He's like, yo, you got to go get your passport. I was like, yo, I got this court case. I had my good lawyer that I was just telling you about.
Yep.
He was like, yo, listen, we're going to discredit the guy that pressed charges on you for the assault. We're going to try to get that knocked down. And we'll see if we can get this probation maybe cleaned up a little early or whatever. I'm going to get my passport. I get back to my house. I come out. A black Charger pulls up on me. And they hop out and they're like, Anthony, da da da. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yo, you remember 2009? And I'm like, get the fuck out of there. All of a sudden, 2 trucks pulled up. They threw me on the car. They handcuffed me. This happened on April Fool's. So I'm renting an apartment from my man's house where I'm staying in between 2 different spots, bouncing back and forth. His girl's trying to call people. Nobody believing it because it's April Fool's Day.
Yeah, yeah. They think it's a joke.
So nobody believed this shit till like 8 o'clock at night. I ended up having what I bonded out for $500,000. Put up a house or two, you know what I mean? That was fucking crazy.
And your career is starting to take off at this time. Like you're really starting to you're putting in work.
I was supposed to go on tour and lost the whole opportunity. I was in a group. We was signed to a label. I fucked that whole shit up.
So when you finally put it down, like I'm making music, I'm gonna start putting it out there. How does that all transpire? Walk me through that situation.
So MySpace kind of, was a thing where people put music out. I ended up getting a good buzz. I ended up doing some songs with some people that had good names that were doing some things with people. And then it's ironically because that's how I ended up getting locked up was through my rap name because my nickname actually ended up becoming my rap name.
Yeah.
Nobody actually knew my nickname, and that's why nobody ever knew my government name. I was good until my music really got me jammed. That's up, right?
Yeah. So what made you say I'm gonna start really pursuing this music?
I'm working in a barbershop. Like I said, when I was young, I came out. My man was like, bro, you can't just be doing this forever. You got to learn something. So I learned how to cut hair. You doing it in a barbershop. People were like, yo, you nice, man. This shit sound good. Da, da, da. So I started doing that. I started doing some shows and I'm getting a fan base. There was a lot of people in Long Island, New York area that had a good buzz, man. So I was messing with some of them. I would bully some of them because I'd be like, you guys ain't really about this shit. Da, da, da. I had like that 50 mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think you got to be the most gangster, then you realize you can't go on tour, you can't leave your county, you can't do shows.
Yeah, you gotta
can't be in the studios because there's shit going on in the studios, dude. I used to have to. You can watch old clips, man. You see me, I was got like a blunt hidden behind my pocket. Dumb. That's how dumb I was. What's in your hand? You can't tell me what's in my hand. That's how I really. That's the type of mentality I used to have.
So you're doing shows. Is there any situations that happen when you start doing music and being out in the public and craziness in the studios or anything like that?
Nah, I'm around pretty serious guys, so nothing ever really happens ever in the studios. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody would become looking for an issue that we would love to handle.
Who are some of the people that you would associate with?
Just regular guys, man. I got me and my guys that I do music with. Like I said, I do music with Danny Diablo, my brother Screw Jones. I do music with my man Script, my man Nam
I've
Nitty.
heard of Danny Diablo before.
Yeah, he's got a really big name. He's
Yeah.
lead singer, Scarhead, and Crown of Thorns. I met Danny in a little bit of my older life, but Danny never. He's a real motherfucker, bro. We'll always have your back. He's a brother to me, but that's what That's a good dude.
They say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, right?
And anyway, you know, that's because everywhere else, some places are really slow. Not to shit on places. Some places got to pop, but some places are so slow. So I get where they get that mindset from. But when you're from New York, you don't want to be everywhere else. Like
No.
where I'm at is kind of popping, but it ain't New York, and they're trying to drive me nuts a little bit, to be honest with you, because there's so much going on in New York. You know.
How do you feel about Mendabi getting elected the mayor?
I don't pay attention to none of that shit, man. I tell people all the time they're two cheeks of the same ass, bro.
Yeah, true.
They're no different. They're all fucking pedophiles. They're all weirdos. They're all robbing us. They're all slaving us. I'm very anti-government, man.
So,
But
what direction are you gonna bring your music career in, and what are you trying to do for the future?
I'm just pumping out music, man. I just try to tell my story, which is a hard story. We got to be hard, but at the same time, I want to give faith for a younger generation that you can still end up being a good person. Hate to say it, but Tupac killed it with the rose that grew from concrete. You know what I mean? Because you could come from an ugly place and still make something. My life was hard, but my daughter has a beautiful life. She's blessed. She never knows a hard day. She's a straight A student. It's like that for a lot of street guys. I feel like a lot of street guys have good kids.
Yeah,
They keep their kids out of shit. They want their kid to be proud. It speaks for you what you don't let speak. If you feel what I'm saying, you know what I mean.
yeah.
So, but sometimes it takes too late for people to realize that. Sometimes, so that's what I try to push is strength instead of anger in the pain of life.
So, if there's a little kid out there watching this that maybe is dealing with foster care system or any of that, what would be your advice to them?
Find something you love to do and put all your energy into that instead of letting your energy take you to where it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like I let my anger take me back to the streets where I could have went a different direction. You know what I mean? So I had my younger brother who's passed away. He used to make $250,000 a year, man. He was a salesman. He used to work for phone companies and make a lot of money. You know what I mean? My younger brother, unfortunately, drugs. I have a few. We went the different route, but you can see there's another route. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want kids to see that why go put yourself in on a hard bed? Why go put yourself in jail? Why put yourself in fight? It ain't as cool as it sounds. You know what I'm saying? So you think a dude ain't crying on Rikers Island right now, 4 in the morning? Even if he's a killer, you think he ain't missing his mother or his kid or grandmother or pussy or a steak? You
yeah.
know?
I mean, I've been to prison and it sucks, man, losing your freedom.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's for one day; it's too long. You know?
And a lot of people, like I said, I've been in and out, in and out. I think we had the conversation once about like I would never snitch. That's a DNA embedded in me. You know what I mean? But a lot of people think they want to go out a fight or get in some trouble and then put them shoes they never wanted to be in. A great movie I think everybody should watch is Shot Caller.
Yeah,
You ever see Shot Caller?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's true. You can see a guy like me, and then you can see a regular guy, and he could be a savage, but he's never been pushed to that button yet. So you
yeah.
don't know. You know what I mean? But why put yourself in those positions to be pushing those buttons? You know?
So a lot of people glorify rats, just like your shirt.
Yeah, no,
Stop
stop.
glorifying rats.
Shout out
So
Omerta.
what are your thoughts on people cooperating? People glorify Sammy the Bull now. He got a huge following, and
No, no,
people.
no, no,
What do you think
no.
about people cooperating?
No, if you ever go watch one of my videos, I got for like the watchers, I got a video called The Button Man where I kind of touch onto that type of lifestyle. And my cousin's in the beginning talking, and you shouldn't glorify a rat, man. And people who are real should tell your story watered down, just so those people aren't the ones glorifying telling the stories. You know what they say? It's the winner that always tells the story. You two battle it out. The law gets involved. That's the winner. Sadly, you don't want that jerk off telling the story. You know.
No.
And I don't glorify rat. Your grandmother rats. That's not ratting, bro. I hate when people get that misinterpreted too. A civilian is not a rat. That's their civilian lifestyle. If you chose to choose this lifestyle, you chose to take what you do and man up to your actions, to sell out your friends, which I've been sold out. I threw up in jail, bro, when the first time I seen that. When they were like, yo, that's your man on your statement. And I'm sitting there and like 3 or 4 people telling me, and they're like, yo, that's your man's name on the statement. Dude, I threw up to
You
think a
never
guy that
believe he would do that.
not a guy like you know what I mean. Like I said, his father was a shot caller in a crew, bro. You would think that drugs. I didn't know he was doing dope at the time. To be honest with you, that's what that really was. But I mean, I don't give no excuse. Just once you're a rat, you're a rat. But it's a sad lifestyle, bro. You know it, and Hollywood glorifies it. Meanwhile, you got so much count, you can't even live the same life like we said. You know what I mean?
Take responsibility for your own actions. Be a man. Don't be a tattletale. That's what I've always been taught, man.
Yeah, own your shit.
And these people are just like, we're just gonna throw him under the bus and walk away from my shit. What if that? Like, people are crazy.
And it's funny because my father always told me, man, and I call my father my adopted father, my father, because he was there for me to prove stand up as a man. Do this yourself. Dude, it's something you always heard and you don't realize until you get put in those shoes. You know what I mean? Because you know the other famous saying, two people keep secrets, one dead. It's just the truth. But
100%.
the world is not even the same functional world that it used to be in to even be like what life is there to live anymore? Like that you don't have to, you know what I mean? You disrespect me, it's going to be situations to be a quarter camera, but I'm going to make sure my actions are for the actions that were brought to me at this day and age. It's not like I was when I was 19 years old and I'm riding around, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So I can't even speak for people nowadays. Everybody should just know you're being recorded all the time. Dude, they caught Aaron Hernandez with the camera in his own fucking house.
Caught
Remember?
himself.
They
Yeah.
caught him
Yeah.
coming out the basement with the gun.
With the
If it
gun.
wasn't for that
Yeah.
camera in his own house, so this is it's not worth it, man. Do everything fucking right, legal. You know what I mean? That's
The
just where it's
internet
at.
breeds cowards, man. I think the internet breeds cowards that hide behind a screen and think they can play tough guy when they don't know what real life situations are about.
I love when I have conversations with people. They're like, "I feel you." No, you don't. If you've never been in and out of jail, if you went and took the fucking police test or worked as a CO with two different sets of people, you know what I'm saying? Too, I think that's a again where Hollywood fucked everybody over because everybody wants to be Tony Soprano. Everybody wants to be the guys from fucking this TV show or Breaking Bad. And it's like, bro, some of you are just Joe Schmo doing your everyday life. What I wish I would have had a different life. I don't understand why people, you know what I mean?
I mean, people want to be like Wes Watson and pretend about how much jail time they did and shit. I did 10 years in the Supermax. This fucking guy went to a fucking camp
Yeah.
in a dorm. It's
No, bro.
crazy. Crazy, man.
That's and that's another thing people don't understand. Every jail bed's different, man. You could be in a docile place and have a hard time or have an easy time. You could be in a hard place and have a hard time, an easy time. You can't trust any of it because every person's experience is different. It depends on you and that day.
How many
You know,
times have you been to Rikers and have you seen other white dudes go in there and get bullied and
I've seen a few get bullied because where I was at was a heavy blood dorm. To be honest with you, Bloods and Italians always have mutual friendship.
yeah.
Because shit like that clicks up inside there. You know what I mean? But I've only been to Rikers once. I've been to Riverhead. I've been to Yaphank. I've been in and out of there a few times for weekends, a year each, and then I did a year in the Feds, and then a year in the halfway house in the Bronx, which was wild.
And it's sad, but a lot of white dudes that go to prison won't stick up for themselves. And I've seen it happen. I've seen people.
You want to hear another good story? Actually,
Yeah.
so one time I get into a fight and we get rolled up, and you get put in the Sally Port, right? And when I get put in, there's a Mexican dude that get puts in. Now, five white guys are trying to hop him, bro. I honestly don't see color. I understand the mathematics and shit, but I don't see color. And this place wasn't like that, right? But I was like, you're not hopping, homeboy. If you come in this gate and it's getting going down, I'm getting going down. So he didn't get hop. Every time I switched into a dorm, because I would bounce around a lot, getting into some shit, and he was in there, the Mexicans would always come over, give me a plate of food. They would take care of me. One day I'm on the phone. And the first time I call my daughter, I usually don't do phone calls or visits, man. You go in, you come out. That's how you know you really been. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
need all that extra shit. But my daughter was young, so I wanted to call the baby. I'm getting into an argument with a Spanish guy next to me who was MS-13. I didn't know. He was only 17 years old, little guy. And he's thinking I'm in some gang because he misread one of my tattoos. So now we're arguing. but we don't understand each other because he only speaks Spanish and doesn't understand English, and I don't understand this. But you could just feel the energy and the aggression getting to a level. Homeboy comes over and he pieces it out, and he was like, "Yo, dude was MS-13 in there for two bodies at 17 years old." And I'm sitting there ready to argue with this dude, thinking he's just a little kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But the Spanish people honestly hold each other down the best. I'm sure you've seen it when you go in there too. Dude. They all
yeah,
take care of each other in a very
they
different
do.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta stand up for yourself regardless, win, lose, or draw. You always have to
Always.
stand up for yourself. You never cower down.
No, yeah. And being a stand-up person, like I said, just not allow one man to get hot in a situation, allowed him to help piece out another situation that could have went sideways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So always being a good man, a standard character. I know that sounds crazy, but even when you're in the street, there is good standard character and not. Karma is real, bro. You know what I mean? So I tell a lot of people sometimes when I said I used to rob drug dealers, I felt like I was karma because you got mothers out there that are not taking care of their kids to get high. Dope boys making money off that. You know, this kid ends up getting older. I'm coming to take dope boys' money for all the meals I missed, my man.
yeah. Thanks.
That happens, you know.
Here's your karma, mo.
And that's why I felt like I kind of always did because I at least followed some ethical code, like a Robin Hood. You know what I mean? Robin Hood did
Yeah.
wrong, but he did wrong for the right reason. That's a real thing.
So where can people find your music?
Tony Slippaz, man, you can catch me on Instagram, YouTube. I'm on all major platforms, iTunes, Spotify, all that. I got a bunch of videos on YouTube.
So what's in
So
store for the future for you, man?
right now I'm doing a charity event for I want to throw a show down here, do a little charity for foster kids, try to get some presents for the kids in the foster system. That's what I would like to heavily do with my music. If I do end up growing and expanding, I would love to constantly keep giving back to those kids to give hope. You know what I mean? A better future. That's what you're supposed to do. If you make it through this life, you stick up for the weekend, you kind of give a better future.
I appreciate you taking the time, and I'll put a link in the description for all your music and everything. People can follow you on platforms, and I really appreciate you taking the time for this.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Definitely. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too bad. Start your own podcast. Peace.
Peace.